Today, I want to get into Jung Kook getting emotional in a live stream and people breaking down what it means today. And then we have a somewhat emotional video that people believe ties into JHope's enlistment and Jin's words to JHope. So hey Dumplings, this is Dave. Decide hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Fiverr Dumplings, hey Spling Mug merch, and let's go. JHope is expected to be enlisting sometime very soon, and I definitely want to talk about that a bit more later. But people have been connecting a live stream to say that Jung Kook knew about the dates and he had already warned or talked about it during said previous stream. Let me give a backstory here. A little while ago, Jung Kook did a live stream where he ended up streaming for a very long time collectively, but he did end the stream multiple times and come back with a whole different look and outfit. During one of the last streams he did that day, he showed up in a beanie and purple jacket, and he really got emotional at a certain point and was reading the comments only for Army to see that he was tearing up. It got silent for a bit, and then people could see tears well up in his eyes. He mentioned that he was simply having a cold and he got teary-eyed, and Army's chalked it up to that as well. But many people were wondering if this was Jung Kook's way of saying goodbye to Army because he was going to enlist soon, or was Jung Kook simply upset because his other members were expected to be enlisting very soon. Jung Kook mentions that he loves Army and doesn't get the opportunity to say that often, and that he wanted to say thanks and that he will always be by Army's side. Of course, this followed up by the tears and silence. People thought that this was for a specific reason because it's quite unusual and they felt this came out of nowhere. Jung Kook very quickly told everyone not to read too much into the tears, and I actually don't think this came out of nowhere because Jung Kook is obviously extremely grateful for his life and what armies have given him, and maybe he never felt like he had an opportunity to say that. And so the tears could partly be because of that. And then it was interesting because it was reported by some sites that allegedly a Big Hit staff member actually came out and talked about this particular incident to say that Jung Kook's words were likely just referring to everyone going solo now and the support that armies have shown since the members have gone solo. If you're not aware, the members are obviously doing their solo thing. I don't think Jung Kook is going to enlist anytime soon, as he has yet to even start his album and stuff. And then Jin is obviously in the camp right now. He has completed his first stage of training, and it seems like he might train the other members when they come in, which hopefully means that it won't be too bad for the other members. Not because Jin would go easy on them, but just because Jin knows them well and knows what their limits are. JHope is in the process of going to enlist, and when he is enlisting, and the specific date is up in the air, as that information tends to be confidential, so only JHope knows and possibly the label. I actually don't know if the label knows. They just might not be planning anything right now for JHope. I can totally see people getting emotional over this, and then a video actually dropped today that really freaked everyone out. First off, just going back, JHope did address the military situation fully and fully talked about it, so it wasn't anything that alluded towards the enlistment like Jun Song the astronaut, although we already knew by then, but JHope did fully talk about it. JHope canceled his postponement for the service, and then he got a letter literally telling him that he is going. And he hopped on a live stream to immediately tell Army, and he basically told everyone how Jin called him right after. JHope asked Jin loads of questions, and Jin filled him in on everything. Now, while JHope seemed fairly okay, he didn't seem too happy, or at least was pretending to be, in my opinion. It looked like he didn't want to show that he was sad, but when his face rested, it appeared like he was sad, and that's understandable too. I'm sure there was another album he wanted to make, and JHope is a brilliant businessman. He probably had a lot of plans and things that he wanted to do. And if he did not have to enlist, he would probably go and do those things. There's almost like a formula that every artist has to follow. You do your rollout for the album, promote it, go on shows, do a world tour, and then you go and create a small business, whether that's in real estate, opening a restaurant, or selling clothes. He could have easily taken the opportunity for his solo endeavors and collaborated with his sister, who owns a successful clothing line. So even from my perspective, it did feel like he was cutting it short. But addressing the situation definitely made armies feel a bit on edge and hyper-focus on every little thing that not only JHope does, but any of the other BTS members. Jimin recently canceled his Inkigeo performance, or at least his live performance, and was just going to send in a pre-recorded performance, and some people believed that the reason for this was because Jimin wanted to make the JHope enlistment ceremony. So instead of going to the award show, he would be at the ceremony to support JHope and watch him leave. This was a rumor alongside people just believing due to the backlash of Jimin not singing very well in a live performance, so they decided to just send in a pre-recorded thing for future performances. But we can quickly debunk both of these rumors to say that Inkigeo airs every Sunday, so Sunday has passed since the cancellation was announced, and Jimin did not appear at an enlistment ceremony. And Big Hit had come out to give a statement to say that the cancellation was due to a scheduling issue, and since we hadn't heard anything about JHope, it's fair to say that the scheduling issue was a result of something else maybe tied to the solo album, rather than support of the other members. But as you can see, the fandom has been super sensitive over everything that is happening. There was even another clip that came out that got ARMY super emotional and watery-eyed. But I have to give more backstory here in case you don't know. BTS members are obviously great singers and celebrities, but being honest here, most celebrities, public figures, or anyone you would consider famous don't make most of their money from being famous. You surprisingly don't make as much as you would think for things like appearances or ads on a video. The things artists make the most money from are usually the products they sell or concert tickets. In BTS's case, they have so many hard products aside from music that have helped build their huge fortune. They have a brand called BT21. These are BTS's stuffed animals or merch that don't necessarily heavily tie with BTS. So if you're an ARMY and know, then you'd know that specific toy might be related to BTS. But if you don't know, it's just a cute toy. So there's things like a bunny, alpaca, heart, things like that. And BTS has gone a step further to even have these characters come more to life by having them in animations and making a cute story around them. The members will go even further to wear the brand from time to time to promote it, and then each BT21 character represents one of the BTS members, and they have this BT21 store across the world. A recent BT21 video actually came out and it was super cute animation. One of the characters named Mang had a horse mask on since their inception, and we really didn't know what they looked like. And the story goes that this particular character wanted to hide their face because they are shy. I'm trying to use gender neutral pronouns because each character doesn't have a gender. This character was created to be JHope's character, and so we can assume that there are some pieces of JHope in Mang. So this particular animation and episode, we see Mang take off their mask and we finally see what they look like. Mang quickly ties the mask on their shoulders and makes a scarf, and we see the cute face of Mang. Very quickly after, RJ, who is Jin's character, comes in quickly to talk to Mang and talks about how early it is and they wanted to spend this time together to reminisce and be together. I do react to the video on Patreon. I get very emotional and talk about it a bit more. If you're interested in joining me in watching that, I will link that in the description. We still have a limited $1 tier that is still open. I hope to see you there. It's always a fun time. People thought this was very interpretive. They think the fact that Mang revealed themselves symbolizes JHope revealing himself in real life, and that JHope might feel like he can finally be himself in public now. We even see in a previous Weverse post that he made to tell ARMY not to worry about the military that JHope has no makeup on, no mask. It's an interesting choice for the animators or BTS members to choose RJ to be the character that comes to greet Mang after Mang takes their mask off. This is believed to symbolize what Jin will be doing with JHope once they enlist together. RJ offering Mang a nice comforting cup of tea is basically saying that things will be okay. We also see that in the moment where Mang takes their mask off, which has never been done before because Mang is typically shy, when RJ comes, RJ does not acknowledge the mask being taken off, but accepts it as is, and this is very beautiful. It's a beautiful moment to show that Jin will accept JHope however JHope feels and will accept JHope's real self. JHope had gotten the opportunity to be himself during his new album, and I think we have all been really excited to see that. People think that JHope is going to enlist very soon and that it will be within the next few days or weeks, and this is very likely, I'm not going to lie. I think it's coming up, but I don't think we should be emotional. I don't think JHope left us hanging. I think we will be getting some surprises and some pre-recorded content that will be available to watch soon. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thank you for this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.